Hello. So, like, as we'll be talking about entry module, now we're entry module 3. And from our previous videos, we have covered entry module 1 that talk about entry with or without indicator, entry module 2 that talk about change of character or continuation. Now we're in entry module 3 talking about continuation or confirmation type of entry. Alright, so now the fresh demand or supply zone that is available after change in market direction has happened. That is what it's talking about. After the change in market direction has already happened, that is when we now say, okay, can we see tag along this trade? Because there are some trade before you get there, maybe entry module 1 has already happened, entry module 2 has happened. Then how do you tag along using this entry module 3? That is what we are talking about now, because sometimes entry module 1, maybe the market is already selling with or without indicator. Entry module 2, change of character has already happened, price has tapped into the demand or supply zone on the lower time, on the corresponding lower time frame. When that happened, how do you now tag along with the trade? Tagging along with the trade, we can now use our entry module 3. Alright, so price can be anticipated to come back and tag along with the new direction. That is just what continuation or confirmation type of entry is all about. So now I'm trying to add a thought about what people will say about this schematics. I'm not showing the real chart. If I show the real chart with these schematics together, the video will be too long, and I believe when you have these schematics in your mind, and then by the time I begin to show different examples in different videos, it will be easy to tag along like that. So please bear with me. Now let's look at the weekly chart. Looking at this, we know that this market is selling. After this market has given us the sign that it's selling, and we have further identify a fresh weekly supply on that place, then by the time we now switch to the corresponding daily time frame and see that on the daily the market will be buying, but once it tap into the weekly supply, then we want what will happen. This first thing first is going to be a change of character. This low point, when price now come and take it out, that will cause a after change of character or change of direction. Change of character is terminologies we use for all those smart money concept trading, but it may be difficult to understand. So let's use simple terms as change of direction. Alright, so in the daily before, price was buying, but after this low point has been taken out, when price tap into this weekly supply zone, meaning that the daily now is no longer be buying, it's going to be selling. And usually we want price to tap into this daily supply and then continue to sell. How do we now tag along that? Maybe after price has tapped into the daily supply and then making this low point has already been taken, and maybe this is where we now meet the market. There are some markets you may not meet them at the major point. Maybe you not meet the market when the market has caught change of direction and say, okay, you want to enter it on the daily supply. Maybe that has already happened and then price came down again, take out this low point. But while doing that, it's now leave another demand in the supply zone there. So it is this other supply zone that is going to be our new entry. Maybe it is this one you now meet. You cannot meet. If you meet this one, then you can then try to enter the trade, and it's going to make you to tag along. So because you miss out on the first one, this is now the second one that's going to be our type of continuation trading or confirmation trading. And I'm telling you, this type of continuation supply zone, it barely fails because it has already given us the indication that yes, this supply zone will hold by after the change of character and this low point is taken. So when this supply zone is here, just like, okay, it's more confirmation to us that if we enter this trade here and sell with it to this point, it's going to be a winner most of the time. All right, so that is how it is. Let's look at another example. In this scenario, as you can see that this market is selling, price is coming down, we'll now identify on the daily time frame that this is a very good supply zone. After that, what we expect next is when price has now changed direction on the 4-hour time frame, for example, price has changed direction and given us this supply zone on the 4-hour time frame now, and price has already sold from the supply zone, taking out this other low point. Now what do we expect? We expect price to come back. Maybe this is where will now meet the market as our next supply zone, 4-hour supply zone. But before that, maybe before price now comes to this supply zone, our main target has already been reached. The target of this first supply zone is what? On the 4-hour time frame, the target is what? Is this daily low. All right, so if this 4-hour time frame supply zone, the first one, that's for our first entry there, that price has now gone up and then made this move and has already touched this our target, I'm telling you, take note of this. This continuation supply zone or confirmation supply zone is no longer valid. All right, so that's what I'm talking about here in this drawing explanation. 4-hour change after change in direction, then we can see this is entry model 2. Entry model 2, kind of after price has changed direction, the last supply zone there, we can use it to trade. That's our entry model 2, and that is valid, right? Then maybe after price has not given us the type of supply zone, and this supply zone, before price come back, maybe we'll set our sell entry here, but before price gets to that point, price has already moved to the main target, the daily low target. Do not place another trade here because this target is no longer valid entry, as price has already gotten to the major target. Our major target is the daily low, because it was this daily low point that caused price to move upward to come to the daily supply zone. Then we now trade it on the 4-hour time frame or 1-hour time frame to come and meet this target. Since we already meet this target, this supply zone confirmation or continuation can no longer work. If you see place your trade here, you see that there's high probability that price will come up and take out this supply confirmation or continuation zone. All right, I hope this is very understanding. As we progress in the videos, I'll be making different examples that will get you to understand all these concepts very, very well and clear. All right, thank you.